Hello, my name is Eve. Thank you so much for joining me here today. To all those that are new, welcome, and to my returning subscribers, I always love the comments. Doesn't matter if it's on Facebook, that's fine. Do reach out to me. I love seeing them, and I would love to get some more dialogue going if people are interested in doing that. But you know, for some, this is really, I'm here to bring very positive, highest consciousness vibration to you. I'm not here working in the lower frequencies. So know that when you are watching my videos, you are receiving some healing energy because I've already set the tone in my place. I have lots of crystals. I have a lot of divine guides that are here right now. And in this video, I wanted to start off with focusing briefly on the astrology of this super full moon in Scorpio with some of the numerology involved and maybe a mention here and there of some light tarot. And then I'm going to jump into the 3 piles that I set up here, but with the guidance that when I was picking the cards, I noticed there's a beautiful stream of consciousness or an alignment that kind of threads through one pile to the next. And so I think for many of you, you may feel guided to really listen to all 3 of them. However, what you are guided to do is for you. And that's about your own personal resonance and what you feel drawn to. And that is why I did divide the piles up. If you feel like just choosing one, I will have the timestamps below. We are headed into and already very strongly in the energy of this 3rd super full moon in Scorpio. Now, what is Scorpio about? It's about diving very deep. It's about going to the center, to the core of our emotional body, because this is a full moon. It would be different if the sun was in Scorpio, but this is the moon, which is our emotional body. It is our guides. The moon directs the tides on the earth. All of our water systems are affected by the lunar energy. And Scorpio as an emotional body is asking us to look at the depth of our being in terms of how we really feel. What is going on in those emotional waters? And bringing it to the surface here, because it is a full moon when the moon's energy is fully lit up by the sun. So whatever emotions have been coming up for you in the last couple weeks and literally within the last 2 to 2.5, 3 months, this is the 3rd of 3 super full moons, and we will not have any more super full moons. The next one will be in June. That's actually, I believe, going to be a lunar eclipse. Wow. This year is passing by really quickly here. I'm like in May. Yeah, the next one is the lunar eclipse. So really the full moon or the super full moon we had in March, I believe it was March 8th or 9th, and the one we had in April, May, and then June, all of these 4 full moons, because a lunar eclipse is a full moon that is in absolute alignment with the sun and the earth. They are all building in energy towards that lunar eclipse, and then the 5th lunar eclipse, which happens in July. So know that there is a buildup of very, very powerful lunar energy here in alignment with the sun and with the earth, because they all operate in a beautiful dance together here. What does this mean? Well, lunar eclipse is when the moon is most lit up by the sun's light. It is illuminated. And during each of these full moons, as we go along from March through July, your emotional body, what's been going on at the very depths of it, at the core, and within your subconscious, unconscious, superconscious stratum of your brain is coming to the surface. This is the time of revelation. But it's happening not only on an earth level and a human collective level, it's happening on an individual psyche level. And Scorpio rules the psyche. So it's going in to those layers of your psyche to unveil the next beautiful message or emotional theme that is coming in for you. And you're going to be bringing it in, and if it's something that wants to be healed, then you will heal it in these next couple of weeks. If it's something that you recognize has kept you stuck, because Scorpio, when we go deeply into the moon in Scorpio, one of the things we need to do with our emotional body is recognize the emotional patterns that are actually keeping us from not growing and evolving. And so it's that recognition, and then it's the release or the shedding or the transmuting of that emotional feeling, pattern, or even belief system that you carry. That's why Scorpio is ruled by the snake medicine as well as the eagle and the phoenix. It's your ability to get an expanded view of the core of your emotional being and your psyche at this time. So that's Scorpio. It's fully about transmutation, transformation, releasing the old, shedding the skin so that you can bring in the new. Now the numerology for this super full moon on May 7th, is 16 or 7. And is it interesting because 16 is the tower in the tarot and 7 is the chariot. It's showing us a story. And what it's presenting to us is that we go through these tower moments, which are moments or situations in our life that move us around or jostle up our world so that we become more awake to realize whatever pattern in our life hasn't been working. Because as human beings, we tend to go on pilot and we get very ingrained in habits because they become comfortable. And this is simply a time of recognizing maybe some habits that were comfortable, that you're now feeling and know that it's time to move away from them because you have to grow. And for some, it's a knowledge that it's been uncomfortable, but now there's some beautiful other pathways evolving and presenting themselves to you, okay? So there's a lot of new energy coming in with this. I felt very called, and I rarely bring out my beautiful golden obsidian. It's a very, very powerful crystal, but I felt called to bring it here today and bring its energy in to this reading here, as well as it's a phantom quartz, but it's also what they call a super layered or stratum quartz. It's supposed to be used if you want to access the many lifetimes or journeys that your soul has been on. It's a really wonderful crystal if you want to work with the depth of your being here and the multi-layers and multi-dimensional reality. And then the last one I was called to bring out is my Lemurian starseed. It's a twin. For those of you that are on the twin flame, twin soul, sacred soulmate, sacred counterpart journey, and know you're on it. This is for all of you out there, okay? Because I know there's a message here for you. I can feel it. Now, with the numerology, then, we have to go through these tower moments so that we can then become the charioteer. The charioteer is strong movement forward. But in the chariot card, whoever's holding the reins of the 5 horses, they're guiding those horses and they're directing them. So when we're looking at the chariot card, which is number 7 in the tarot, there's some very focused intention and direction that we are applying to our pathway at this time. So take those messages in terms of the astrology and the numerology and the tarot. And the thing that's very powerful about this super full moon is it's the 3rd of 3. And this summer, from June through July, we get 3 eclipses in a row. Lunar to solar to lunar. There's a significance to this number 3. And of course, we have 3 Mercury retrogrades. Venus is squaring Neptune 3 times. She just had her first square last week. I believe it was it was just 3-4 days ago. It was this last Sunday. On May 3rd, we had the first of 3 Venus-Neptune squares. We're also going to have 3 Jupiter-Pluto conjunctions. This energy of number 3 is very prevalent throughout 2020. And 2020 is about attaining clear sight and clear vision, okay? It's also a very strong manifestation number. And number 3 is accessing our intuitive body, which lives between our solar plexus, between here, our solar plexus, up to our third eye. So our intuitive body has a very strong connectivity through this part of our chakra system. And with number 3, we are accessing that deep intuition and gut feeling, that feeling that won't go away. That's our gut feeling and our intuition speaking to us. And it's giving us information so that we can then process it, because 3 is a number about information, communication, and relationship. So we're processing the information, and then we're either going to write it down, we're going to communicate it, we're going to talk about it, we're going to relate around it. So with number 3, we have communication, we have processing, we have putting it into some format. You don't want it just bouncing around in your brain waves. You need to ground it in some form. And then you're going to build a relationship around it, and you're going to also share that information with others. 3 is a very active number, and it's very much about communication and relationship. And even if you look at the tarot deck, for example, 3s are about 3 people, more than 2 people involved, more than 1 person involved. And especially with the 3 of Cups and the 3 of Pentacles, it's where you're cooperating or in collaboration with someone else, or you're celebrating things with friends. So when we're working with number 3 energy all of this year, it's recognizing that we are doing this as a human and also a spiritual family together. Okay, so these were the messages I wanted to bring in first. So now I'm going to turn the camera down and let's get to our piles. Now, as I go there, though, I want to show you what they are first. So I'm going to put this down. Okay. Now choose, if you want to choose just 1 pile, that's fine, or 2 or 3. You can do it either by the crystal I put on, this is the Herkimer diamond, or by the message, that perhaps this message resonates with you. It's Archangel Metatron, and the message is jubilance. So perhaps this card is calling your name. That's number 1. Number 2 is the beautiful light yellow fluorite, which is a healing stone. And it's Archangel Jophiel, and the word is celebration. Okay? And then the third one is Archangel Raphael, and this stone is a light, really earthy green with like red jasper. I believe it's serpentine, but I'm not sure. Okay? You can look that up if you're interested. So let me get started here. And just as I said, pick it based on the card or the crystal. Take a moment, stop the video, tune in, and we will get started here. So for those of you that chose pile number 1 with the Herkimer diamond, beautiful. The Archangel is Metatron, the supernal teacher, and the message that he has for you is jubilance. Archangel Metatron is one of the keepers and the guides that brings in access through the Akashic records. So he's one of the archangels of accessing one's personal power, and also going into the library where all of the Akashic records for our soul journey lies. And for those of you that chose this, what the message I'm seeing here is you're wanting to access your soul's journey. So perhaps while you're sleeping at night or meditating or even throughout the day, you're getting visuals of yourself that look very different from who you are right here in this moment in this lifetime. And you may be accessing multidimensional realities and places where your soul has been. But what I'm here to tell you is throughout the energy of this super full moon, you have access or greater access to your Akashic records, the journey of your soul to past lives, present ones if you're living them in multidimensional realities, and also possibly even future lives. It's a very, very powerful card. And the message from Archangel Metatron is jubilance. The flowing dimensions are rich with an alchemical force right now, wishing us to feel uplifted and allowing us to feel jubilance spreading through every aspect of our lives so that we may surrender to being grace given and grace led. So with this card, there's an element of surrendering to your pathway right now, surrendering to where you're at. And a lot of that is about letting go and letting God, letting Goddess, okay? It's knowing when to stop pushing something and to step back and surrender to it so it then allows what you want to come in. The gatekeepers of this mystical pathway are awe and joy. And when we feel these states flowing through us, we become full of jubilance. The other message I'm getting here is it's about looking at your life in terms of how filled with joy and jubilance are you? Because you are a cosmic being. That's what this card represents. I believe this is the ceiling of the Gothic chapel in Rome. And is that correct? Is it in Rome? Maybe someone could give me that information if you know it. And whoever painted the top of that chapel, it is about accessing the divine within you, your divine soul blueprint, and knowing that you are a cosmic being here having a human experience. And you're meant to access jubilance right now because the qualities of jubilance, joy, and awe is what is going to open up the cosmic pathways for you. Okay, I'm seeing a great expansion happening here. So let's look at the other cards, which I wanted to pick as tools of guidance that you're carrying with you right now on your journey. And from the Universal Prophecy deck, I pulled courage. So what you are working on right now is your courage. But it can also be telling you that this is one of your greatest assets, that you have great courage. Honor that courage within you, but also bring out that courage. And the other message here is that this is a time for new beginnings in your life, that a challenging cycle is coming to an end now, but continue to be courageous as that cycle is lifting up or completing, and victory will be yours. And again, with this, I feel like this is cosmic clocks, and that something is indeed shifting in your life or completing as a new wheel is beginning. And what you've been learning on this journey this far and what is taking you forward is your ability to really believe in yourself and know that this courage comes from a deep-seated strength. Okay, they're giving me a message about this. Okay, got it. This courage comes from many lifetimes. And perhaps you were a warrior on the battlefield or even a spiritual warrior. You have built up a lot of courage within your own soul blueprint. And you're now accessing that greater depth of courage. And I'm getting here that this is not just physical strength and courage, but it's also mental and emotional, because your emotional courage is connected to your spiritual one. And the other card I pulled was power. Exciting new adventures and opportunities beckon you. Take action. The power is yours, is in your hands. Remember, It is the power of love, not the love of power. Very significant message there. A lot of gold energy here. And I was noticing the color rays that Archangel Metatron often comes in with are golden with white and crystal and blue. So those might be certain colors that you're drawn to wear or work with at this time. So the messages for pile 1 is accessing greater joy and jubilance in your life, going through whatever you're going through right now with that deep inner strength and courage that you have amassed through the journey of your soul, through lifetimes, and that you contain within you all the power you need. It is not outside of you, it is within you. That's the most important message I'm getting here. The power is within you. Step forward with it now. And notice with both of these cards, they're telling you there's new beginnings ahead. New adventures await. I'm feeling that some of you that have picked this pile, you're either a fire sign or you have strong fire energy in your chart. And then the last message that is your guidance here to further access these vibrations within your emotional, spiritual body is soul writing. And I'm laughing because if this is not Metatron, I don't know what is. The Merkaba, the Merkaba. There it is. And Archangel Metatron is one of the keepers of the sacred geometry and the sacred cube and the Merkaba. And he's showing you again that your soul has written many, many, many stories. You are an old soul. You have been on so many journeys on this earth and in other realities as well. And it's time that you're wanting to access these stories, these journeys. You're wanting to have remembrance is what we call it. Now I want to read from this one because I know there's some other messages here that are very significant. We become the stories that we tell. We are the author of our own stories. So write one that inspires you and don't let anyone else command your pen. Yeah, all these cards are speaking about personal empowerment and sovereignty, that you are a divine and a human sovereign being, that you are incredibly strong. And if you just needed that reminder and that was the only thing you needed from hearing this message today, then that's all you need to take with you. The events and experiences of your life are multidimensional living art. Their purpose and their form will shift as your perception of them does. And remember, whenever you decide to write a different story, you're going to bring in a different experience. So remember, you are the pen writer. You are the author here. What is it? What new story do you want to write here? Because this is about new beginnings and new adventures. Look at the card and imagine that you are the angel rising and connecting to the soul light at the top of that pyramid. From this expanded view, you can see all of your stories and their facets from a neutral position. A higher perspective will unveil and reveal what was previously unknown. You may be surprised, shocked, or even embarrassed that the story you may have identified with is perhaps not what you thought it was. So there's some unknown stories, visuals, remembrances that I feel are coming to you as we move from full moon to full moon here. And lastly, if there are some stories that you don't identify with, that don't feel very positive to you anymore, it indicates that it's time to shake them loose. You are doing so well, you are worthy and you are loved. Okay? So remember here with pile 1, the most important message is that you are the author of your own book. And your book is in the sacred library, in the cosmic library of creation. And Archangel Metatron is watching over that library. Okay, sending you all so many blessings. Whoops. For those of you that chose pile number 2 with a beautiful yellow fluorite, the message is celebration. And the Archangel is Jophiel, and Jophiel is the Holy Liberator. What I was picking up right away here is a couple different themes. One, that it's a time of celebrating yourself, celebrating all of the accomplishments that you have attained in your life. For some, perhaps you're retiring from something. Maybe you're actually going into retirement or semi-retirement, or you're leaving behind a certain career or a job or a company, or you're moving somewhere new. There's a lot of new beginnings here that are inherent in this pile. I had that message a little bit in pile number 1 as well. And remember, I said these 3 piles are very strongly linked to one another, so you may feel guided to listen to all 3. In this one, though, the real gist is about you stepping back and pausing right now, taking a time out to really examine your life and to celebrate who you are and how far you have come. And in that pausing moment, it's like you're taking a big overview. You're looking at your life from a higher perspective and a bigger lens, and you're wanting to see what it is you want to create now, because Archangel Jophiel is the Holy Liberator, but he's also, or she, the Holy Creator. Very strongly, Jophiel is very strongly tied into our creative energies, as is Archangel Raphael as well. Those 2 angels share certain things in common in terms of the creative cosmic energies that we all can tap into. But with Jophiel, it's about bringing in that creativity, which I love because the colors on his shield here, or his sigil, are beautiful, like golden yellows, deep ambers, orange, and like deep, deep blood red or wine. Very passionate colors here. So it's about tapping into your inner passion. And lastly, for others of you, the message could be one of liberation. For some, you're liberating yourself from a career or a life path and changing to a new one. And others, you're in the process right now of recognizing where you need to bring in freedom, what in your life you need freedom from. And so Archangel Jophiel is guiding you to look at where in your life right now you want to liberate yourself from. Okay, so let me look at the book here and see if there's any more information here. Ask what future you want to create for yourself as you are journeying right now through this time of great expansiveness and soul ascension. Jophiel is blessing you with a citrine ray of rare delight as this exquisite holy liberator simply wants you to succeed by releasing any negative karma through the window of galactic cleansing. No wonder I wanted to pick fluorite, because fluorite is one of the most powerful crystals for healing and cleansing. And it's yellow. And what I'm getting here is the karmic cleansing that you're doing is one through your mental body and your belief system. That's what I'm picking up for many of you. For others, it could be in your emotional body as well. But I'm picking up a strong energy about releasing negative thought forms and perceptions. And that is how you're going to liberate yourself or free yourself to then go into the life that you want to create. So just like deck number 1, there's a lot of endings and new beginnings that I'm sensing here with this one as well. But this one's a little bit different in a sense that it's calling you to really take a pause right now, step back, meditate, take time out, go on a mini vacation, hermit, whatever it is you need to do, get rejuvenated and well rested, and really take a good look at your life and start visualizing and looking at where do you want to go right now? What do you want to create? And from the Golden Prophecy deck, the Universal Prophecy deck, you got the Golden Prophecy. It's considered the most prominent card in the entire deck. Yes, everything you touch turns to gold. Believe, achieve, and you will succeed. And I did choose an additional card to see what extra guidance we're getting here. But what I'm seeing so far is you're on a new beginning, you're on a new pathway. Okay, so you're celebrating everything you've learned and where you've come from. You're celebrating your roots, you're celebrating who you are in your journey, and now you're going onto a new pathway. And the Golden Prophecy is the pathway of ascension. So if you're wondering if you're on the pathway of ascension, then the answer you're getting today is a very, very big yes. And you're further along it than you may think you are, okay? But the other message with this is make sure that you stay very focused on this pathway. This is not a time to get distracted by exterior things, okay? You need to remain focused on your pathway of ascension, and whatever amount of time and pauses and meditative times and rejuvenation periods you need to take on this pathway, do it. Because what I'm getting is it's a movement forward and then a stop, and then another movement forward and then a stop. And in that process, with each movement forward, you get to reanalyze how far you've come, and then you get to see what the next step is. And there's a very analytical format that I'm picking up here. But you're also needing to do the pausing, because on the ascension journey, we can have a lot of emotional and mental debris, and even physical debris and toxicity leaving our bodies, and we can feel very wiped out. So meditation is going to be very important. So is physical exercise. And remember, I said something about negative karma and negative thought forms. Catch yourself and replace those negative thought forms with positive ones. What is guiding you on this pathway is breaking through all of the illusions. Look at this. This person, whether it's a he or she, does not matter. Their eye is open. They have clarity. And on either side, there's butterflies. You are transforming. You're not in the cocoon stage anymore. As I said, you're further on the path of ascension than you think you are. You are indeed a butterfly. It's time to fly higher here, but to also recognize whatever illusions you need to now, at this stage on your ascension, let go of. And before now, you may not have been aware of them. Okay, it's that simple. They may not have been that obvious, or they may have been in your subconscious or unconscious, and now they're coming to the forefront. That's one possibility. And for others of you, it's simply that holy liberator energy I was explaining in the beginning, where you've been aware that you needed to break free, but you simply knew you somehow were not ready. And guess what? If you're listening to me here in this video today, you're ready now. This is the time. If you need to do one last pause to take a view of your landscape before you jump forward, do it. But do it knowing that it's time to let go of all of the illusions. So the message here is, are you seeing this situation clearly from all perspectives? Trust your intuition as you look closely and objectively. So remember, I said this is very analytical. It's looking at the situation from a place of detachment, which is one of the key things that we learn when we're on the ascension, that we have to almost separate from our life to a certain extent so that we can become the observer. And when we are in the observer's self, we can see what in our lives, especially within the ego life and the drama part of our life, is really not healthy and not supporting us at all. And then we can liberate ourselves from it. Okay, so you're becoming very objective about things, and you're trusting your intuition more. So what they're telling me is you're using your ability to be detached and objective with your intuition together as this phenomenal tool to break through any illusions that you are still holding on to. And this can be illusions that you're not so much holding on to, but someone around you is. Okay, that's the other message I'm getting. And the last guidance here from the secret language of light is manifestation. That is just beautiful. Look at that. It goes along with the golden prophecy. You are manifesting your greatest and your highest reality. That is what you want to do here. So that message is specific to this pile. Your intention here, group number 2, is you want to manifest the highest pathway that you have, the highest soul journey that you can attain to at this time, the highest level of consciousness. You don't want to play in any lower level anymore. You want to just fly, is what I'm getting. But that does mean you've got to break through these last illusions here. So let me read the card of manifestation, because you are the manifester. Right now, you have that power in your hand. Do with it what you will. You are about to experience something that you have longed for. You may not see any evidence of it yet, but please do not be disheartened. Instead, be still and align with your soul. What did I say in the beginning of this pile? Stillness, pause moments. Soon you will be inspired to take the step forward that you need to take. And this is where you will meet up with your dreams and your desires. So it's listening to that inner guidance, and you're going to know when that step is meant to be taken. The other message here is fall in love with the unknown, and the path of the known will materialize. And the last thing I'm getting here is, okay, 2 more things. You will attract what you give your focus to. So there's also a message here for some of you that look at what you're, okay, there it is. Look, there's the vision. Look at what it is you're putting your focus on. And is that bringing celebration and joy into your life? Is that liberating you? Or is what you're focusing on just furthering this prison that you're in? Because we all in this lifetime, to a certain degree, carry shackles that we are here to become aware of and to take off. Every single human being is bringing a core wound or several core wounds with them, and I often refer to them as shackles. And at any moment in time, you have the key to those shackles. Did you know that? Nobody else does. You have that key. You were carrying that key all along. And so you can continue to keep the shackles on as long as you want. I mean, the shackles are serving to always teach us something. And at times, the teaching brings greater love. It brings greater compassion. And when you're ready, you'll recognize that you have the key, and you will simply unlock those shackles. Okay? So it's becoming aware and just knowing that you are the manifestor, the creator of your reality. And so whatever you're focusing most of your attention on, that's where your energy of manifestation is going. Now, the last thing I wanted to say, and this is very, very important, and I feel like I'm reaching out and talking to those of you that are on a sacred, beloved pathway right now, but also for those of you that feel you have a very strong mission and you don't feel like you've been able to fully be on it yet. And others of you are just coming to the realization that you think you know what your mission might be. So you're somewhere on this path. Some are in the beginning, some are in the middle, some are further along towards the end of it. Figure out where you are here. But the biggest magic that you're getting in this golden prophecy is knowing that to materialize anything in the physical, you have to first create it in the spiritual. That is the biggest rule of ascension. If you want to create heaven on earth, you have got to access heaven in the higher dimensions and through your soul and your higher dimensional selves. You've got to be working with these higher parts of yourself and your soul and listening to it and seeing what you want to visualize in these higher dimensional realities, or heaven, if you want to call it that, and visualize what you're wanting to create there so that it then materializes into the physical. When we only create on the physical level, we can only create to a limited extent. But when we are creating from the higher dimensional realities and the reality of our soul and our soul family, downward, because it goes spiritual downward, then what we can create in the physical becomes unlimited. And that is the most important message that I can give for you today. Bless you all in this super full moon. So for those of you that chose the third pile, or you listened to all of them, and here we are at the third one, I have a feeling this one's going to be the fastest. Here's this beautiful green jasper. I believe it's serpentine. I'm going to have to look that up. The Archangel is Raphael, and Raphael is the holy healer. In this one, the card and the message is harmony. What I love, though, is in this very specific sigil for Archangel Raphael, and the message is this is about the earth harmonizing, the earth ascending right now, becoming more conscious. The earth itself is moving further and further into its higher dimensional reality, and we are going with it. Okay, that's one of the reasons why we're going through what's happening this year of 2020, because the earth is ascending and she is allowing us and activating us with all of our codes that we have in the earth. Those of you that chose this pile have a very strong feeling you're very connected to nature, and that right now one of the messages is to really go out and spend time in nature and bring nature indoors with you as well. Wear a lot of green like I'm wearing today. Connect with the earth, eat very deep earthy foods, and give thankfulness and blessings with every meal that you have. There's an important message here from Archangel Raphael about giving gratitude for the Earth Mother. And Archangel Raphael's divine counterpart is actually Divine Mother. Okay? So Divine Mother, the Divine Feminine, is very strong in this deck. And she's calling on you to bring all the different areas of your life that might be out of balance in some form, to bring them back into balance, and that she is here to help you with that. Her hands are offering peace and harmony to you right now. All you need to do is call on the Earth Mother and call on the Divine Mother component of creation, and Archangel Raphael as well for healing. I'm sensing there's a healing component for many of you that are picking this deck, that there's something in your life right now that you are in the process of healing. Whether it's financial for some, because this is a very earth card, earthbound card, there could be a financial healing that you're going through. There could be a family healing, familial. There can also be a healing that's physical, because the earth is very physical. I'm not getting as much the emotional, but that is there as well with the green. The physical healing and the emotional, they do go hand in hand. When we have a physical issue, there's often something in our emotional body that is asking us to heal and to be looked at and released, okay? Or resolved is the word I'm getting. So there's a lot of resolution here, harmony that you're going through right now. And I love all the earth tones and the peaceful doves. There's a lot of bird energy here. And I'm actually getting some astrological messages that this is for the earth signs, but also the air signs in particular. And you may not be an earth sign or an air sign, which are Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, but you may have it somewhere in your chart. And that's simply the energy that you're aligning with at this time. Oh, there we go. Look at that. So the tools that you have right now and that you're working with are alignment. Master yourself to allow alignment to occur. Stay strong and focused as you walk your path. So there's a very strong ascension energy here, which we're carrying forward from the second pile, okay? Each one of the decks actually was then pointing to the next one. So there's a very nice stream of consciousness here. So this is about harmonizing and aligning. And think about that. Those two words are synonymous, because when you harmonize, you're coming into alignment, right? But you're coming into alignment with your core mission. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting that those of you that chose this pile, that you did so because you're on a core mission here. And you're wanting to get into further alignment with that mission, whether you're growing something around your career, your pathway more, or you're jumping onto a new one. But I'm seeing a lot of fulfillment here as well, that your spirit is just shining. You are at a place where you are really feeling better than you've ever felt before. And if you're not quite there yet, because there's still some healing going on, please know that you will soon arrive. The other message we have is protect. Protect yourself from negative energy and harmful environments. And that's true because on this journey, you're sensitive right now if you're going through a healing. Doesn't matter at what level the healing is, you are in a very sensitive place. Your energy field is sensitive. You need to protect your space, and you need to really build further your spiritual armor. That's the other message I'm getting for this deck, that you're further building your spiritual armor, and that you're protecting your energy, you're creating very strong boundaries, and you're using discernment. And the last message with this is a reminder that you are a warrior on the path to enlightenment. Trust your instincts and be strong. Well, I'll tell you that message at the end, be strong and trust your instincts, is the one message that goes through all three piles, especially the be strong. That this is a time to pull on your inner strength. And I'm also getting a message for those of you that are on the twin soul, twin flame, sacred counterpart, divine counterpart journey. That you and your beloved, whether you know each other yet in the physical or not, whether you're together physically, or you simply know who each other is, or you're even in separation and haven't talked in a very long time, that your beloved counterpart is connected to you. You can't disconnect them. They are like connected you like an umbilical cord. And you need to protect this connection. It does not mean that you are going to choose to physically be together, especially if each of you or one of you is in another partnership, which could be a soulmate or a karmic, doesn't matter. If one or both of you is choosing other partnerships, you have to have mutual respect here. But at the same time, protect your tree of life, because that's the tree of life, and it's the tree of life of your sacred union. And the most important thing to remember on your sacred union is that you have within you your divine feminine and divine masculine. And the biggest union that you need to protect is your own. That union within of your masculine and feminine. And when you're able to do that and completely align with this energy, a lot of gold energy here, which is the Christ consciousness. And the gold is also one of the strongest rays of protection, by the way. Okay? So yeah, the divine masculine, I'm getting a strong message about masculine here. It could be that there's a lot of men that are going to choose this pile, which I'm kind of picking up now. So for you divine masculines out there, and even if you're feminine that very operates strongly in the masculine, recognize that you're building your spiritual armor right now, and please have very strong discernment and stronger boundaries, and move away from those environments, people, situations, even chemicals, which can come from what we eat, that are unhealthy for you because you're moving into a more sensitive time in your life because you're actually ascending. Okay, so when we are on the ascension pathway, we become far more sensitive to our environment. And the last message, I love it, is your channeling. Yes. Okay. I'm getting the last message I'm seeing here is for most of you that have chosen this pile, you're either on a journey of self-healing and ascension right now, and or you are in the healing fields. Well, you know that old adage, healer, heal thyself. One of the two phrases on the ancient temple of Apollo in Delphi. Healer, heal thyself. You are in charge of your own health and your own well-being. That's the other message I'm getting. So for those of you that are healing right now or healers, really be aware of your sensitivities, but also be aware that as you're getting more and more sensitive, you're getting more and more intuitive. And you are channeling messages, informations, clairaudiently, clairvoyantly, clairsentiently, through direct knowing. You are channeling messages from the higher realms and the multidimensional realities. Now, do you want to have discernment with this as well? Absolutely. You need to decide what channeling is coming through is absolutely pure. Is coming from the very highest realms of light. And anything else, send it away. Because when we access the greater dimensions and we become more of a channeler and a higher level healer, we can also sometimes tap into and inadvertently tag along with us negative energies. They just jump on board because they see this giant sun and they're like, oh my gosh, I've got to jump on that sun, you know, like moths to the light. And they don't mean you harm. A lot of them don't actually really mean you harm, but they can pull you down because they're feeding on your light because they don't yet know how to create their own light. So what we call negative or darker energies are simply energies that don't know yet how to create their own light. And don't look at them as something evil because that is not what they are, okay? But realize that when you're on this journey of deeper healing and perhaps getting your business in healing moving, perhaps some of you are growing a new healing business, or you're going to school to become a healer, or there's a next growing phase that you want to do in your field. And some of you are just channelers. You're psychics. You're intuitives like me. And your channeling abilities are growing exponentially. And another reason why you need to be very discerning with your energy right now. Because as you're growing in this channeling and healing capacity, you've got to rest. You've got to have very strong boundaries, protect your energy field, and protect everything that is most important to you, and let go of any energies that you're not sure if they come from the very highest places or not. Even if they come from a more neutral place, which some energies do, you can choose to say, no, that's not something I want to welcome in. Alrighty then, these are your messages, and I send you so much love.